Hey everyone, it's Tiffany from Let's Get Scrappy, and it is time for a tutorial. So we are going to do a tutorial on this 8x8 baby album, which I do have other videos that I will link in the description below. The wedding one is where I originally did this version. Well, I shouldn't say this version. Was the original 8x8 that I did, and then I did this version on another baby album. So the only thing that's different, I believe there's like 3 things, is the inside cover is different on the wedding album. The 4x6 spot right here is actually on this side. When you open it, that's different. And then on the wedding album, I have another photo mat here with the tag sticking out of it. And I have another little 4x4 flip here instead of a full booklet. So I know that is different. And then I think everything else is the same except this back is a little different. So I guess that's more than a couple things, but I will try to do, it won't be soon, but I will try to do a tutorial on those pieces if you want to do my wedding album, or you can just follow this and I'm sure you could figure out how to get it like that, but I will try to do added on tutorial for that. So we will just set this aside. What we need to do, so first, and it's going to be 2 different videos, so the cover is going to be separate, but you will need, and I'm going to do the cover last, I think. Yes, we're going to do the cover last. I know it's weird. So there's going to be another video with the cover in it, because I feel like most people know how to do a cover, but I'm going to do it anyway, so that way I can just link it to the other videos. But this is Tamra's lay flat method that we are doing. And she's the owner of Country Craft Creations, and I will link her tutorial as well. But what you'll need is 2 pieces of chipboard that are 8x8, and then 1 piece that is 1.5x8. And to cover those, let's see here. Okay, so you'll need 2 pieces that are 10x10 to cover the 8x8, and then 1 piece that is 5x10 to cover the spine. And then for the actual hinges, you'll need a piece that is just, I do just a little bit less than 4.5 by 7 3/8. I like my hinge to be a little bit smaller than my pages, just a smidgen. That way I know for sure they will fit. And then I'm doing 1/2 inch gusset in between, so that's how I get my measurements. Basically, if I know that I have 3 pages, I times that by 3, which is 3 inches, and then, oh, I actually only need 4. So in between is 1/2 inch each, so actually that is 4. So we only need a piece that is 4 by 7 3/8. So scratch that. There you go. Okay, so 4 by 7 3/8. Sorry. Yep. Okay. And then for the inside cover, and all these little pieces I always do at the end. I do not cut these first. I cut all my bigger pieces first when doing albums so that I could try to save as much paper as possible. So for the inside cover, you will need a piece that is 3.25 by 4.25. And one that is 1.5 by 4, and we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, which I will just do that right now because all the other ones I have scored already, and I missed this one. Okay, so just like that. So just setting that aside, then, okay, so there are 3 pages in this mini album. They're 3 just basic pocket pages. So you're gonna need 3 pieces that are 7.5 by 7.5. 3 pieces that are 7.5 by 8.5, and then we're gonna score at a 1/2 inch and then at 8 on the 8.5 side. So I already put 2 of them together, and I did write down, you guys will see as we get going, where I want to try to remind myself to do a magnet. Not that it always works, but okay, so that's for your basic pocket pages. You can add all kinds of flips and flaps after that, however you want to do it, but that is our basic. And I think I did forget to cut. So for the inserts, I did not bring them up with me. For the pocket pages, you are going to need 3 that are 7.25 by 7.25. So 3 pieces of paper that are 7.25 by 7.25. And that is for the pull-out photo mats here. So 7.25 by 7.25, you need 3 of them because we have 3 pages. Sorry about that. Okay, so for the first page, and I'm just going to go through what you need, so that way I know a lot of people like to cut first, then score, then start putting together. It's just a little bit easier just to keep everything, going. So for page 1, which I'll just show you on a page. So here's a page. We are going to need, let me get it all here. So you're going to need 2 pieces that are 5 by 7.5. Stay focused, Tiffany. So 2 that are 5 by 7.5, and you're going to score at a 1/2 inch on each side. Those are going to be our flaps right here. So that is what is going to be our flaps. And then you're going to need 1 piece. And it doesn't have to be in the white. So if you look at my video, some of these 4.25 by 6.25 pieces that I did for photo mats, I didn't necessarily do them in white. I did them based on my design paper. So you could do white, you could do, like I have pink, I have brown, so it's totally up to you. But if you want to just do all white, you can. So you'll need a 4.25 by 6.25, and do not add this until you put your design paper down, because it's going to go on like this here, but you need your design paper on it. So let me just show you page 1. It's going to look like this. So you can see how I use the chocolate brown here, and just like that. Okay. So that is the front, what you need to cut. And then on the back, you'll need a piece that is 6.5 by 10.75. Gonna put in your scoreboard, and you're gonna score at 6.25, and that's gonna give us our little folder. And then you'll need a piece that is 5.5 by 8.5, and this is for the pocket on the back of page 1. And you're gonna score 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So that's literally in your scoreboard. Down, I leave mine in. Sometimes I turn it, I don't know why. I still haven't figured out what is better, but, and then a 1/2 inch on that, and this is gonna create our pocket. So that, and then lastly, you will need a piece that is 4.25 by 6.5, and we're gonna score it at 3.25, basically in half. So like that. And again, I left myself a note, and the reason why I do this is because I have done this where I glue it down and didn't do my design paper. So don't just set this aside, and I just recommend just writing yourself a note not to put that down yet. Okay, so that is page 1. Page 2, and you'll still see this as we go through and build. So if you don't like doing yours up front like this, that's fine too. So for page 2, you are going to need a piece that is 4.25 by 6.75, and just score a 1/2 inch on the side here, and then another piece that is 7 by 7.5 and score at a 1/2 inch up here on the 7.5 side. So 1/2 inch, and that is going to create our little flap up. This will be our side flap like that. And then when you lift up the large flap, this is our little photo mat booklet. You're gonna need a piece that is 6 1/4 by 8.5, score at 4 1/4 on the 8.5 side. So just like so, just nice and easy, so it's just in half. And then on the back side of that, you need a piece that is 7.5 by 8, and then score at a 1/2 inch, and then at 5, and this is going to create a pocket for us on the inside. And then a photo mat that is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, and that is going to attach onto here when we put it down, so you'll see that too. Okay, so for the last page, and for those that have asked, I get asked all the time, I do like to put all my stuff together with paper clips. So these are the jumbo paper clips. Everyone always asks me where I got these from. I got them from, I think it was TJ Maxx and Tuesday Morning a long time ago, but I actually just ordered some on Amazon in a variety of colors. So I have pink, black, rose gold, silver. So, you know, if you guys want those, you can go and get them, but I do always lay all my stuff. I keep my pages together like that, and then when I lay out my design sheet before I glue anything down, I use my jumbo paper clips. Okay, so for the little booklet, we need 3 1/4 by 9 1/4, and you're gonna score that at 4 1/4. For the pocket on the front, and again, this is page 3, so you need 4 1/2 by 7 1/2, and just score on 3 sides. So at 1/2 inch and 7 if you want, or it could be half, half, half. Totally up to you how you want to do it. 1/2 inch. And then for the flap on the front of page 3, you need a 7 by 7 1/2 and score it on the 7 side. So like that. And then on the back of page 3, we need, let's see, a piece that is 6 1/4 by 7 1/2 and score at a 1/2 on the 6 1/4 side. So just right here, like so. This is for the back, and it does look like I don't have, so in the back I do have 2. I have this one here, and this is a photo mat, so it is 3 1/8 by 4 1/8. You can make it larger if you want more of a border. And then this little booklet is 4 1/8 by 6 1/4, and then you score at 3 1/8 for this little booklet that you could just place a 3x4 photo on there. So just, you know, if you want to use these, and then all throughout, so, you know, we won't be decorating this together, but all throughout, you just need photo mats depending upon how much you want a border. So mine are typically like for the large ones. So it's usually 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And then I do a white piece that is 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. So again, that way you could just place a 4x6 photo directly on there. And the recipient doesn't have to think too hard of how to use these mini albums. Okay, so we're gonna start putting together our pages. So I just want to show you real quick. Like I said, I have 2 of them together already. So you're gonna take one of your 7 1/2 by 7 1/2, and then let's see. want to show you. So I miter all my corners. And yes, I have to flip mine all over the place. I don't know why. It's just easier for me. And then you are going to fold on those score lines. Oh my gosh, my voice is so raspy. Usually it's really squeaky. So we have that folded. So now this is going to create our pocket. This is just a basic pocket page. You can use this for any style album and then just add all your flips and flaps to it and create your own style. So totally up to you how you want to build it. I just use my picker to lift up a little bit there. Just make sure it's somewhat lined up. And then I'll pull that out. I know some people like to wrap their 1/2-inch gusset around. I don't know, for me that's, I don't know, it's too hard. Then I have to trim and get it exact because it doesn't always fold over the other size very well. I don't know. And just burnish that down. And then do that for all 3. So now we have 3 pockets, and we're going to start with the page 1 pieces. Set this over here. Okay, so again, let's just get these little corners. And it doesn't have to be a big angle. So I'm just gonna do all of them for page 1. And on the pocket, I just cut straight through the cross. And it doesn't always come out perfect. You might have to trim a little, but just try not to cut into the actual pocket. Like I could see that one's not good. Okay. So we're going to put your little flaps. A little flappy flappy. I don't know why I went to the Muppet characters, but you guys know I have issues. Sorry. Okay. So poke her out a little bit more. Again, I just take off a little bit. I have my squirt tape on here. You can use glue, but I just thought it would be a little bit faster to speed up the tutorial. Because if you don't know, I still don't know how to edit. So my videos aren't fancy like everyone else's. And I'm okay with that because I'm just telling you guys, when you do see the fancy, those people put in time to do that. It takes so much time to do that kind of stuff. I'm just telling you. And Tiff does not have time with her job. My son, just, there's no extra time to, plus I don't want to learn. So that could be a piece of it. I'm just lazy and don't want to figure out technology. But okay, so we have those 2 on there. Here's your flaps. And I'm going to, for now, not put this on, but you just eyeball it where you want it. And you're gonna glue that down, and I just put my my glue just like right here on the back, put it down. But you'll do your magnet on this side, magnet here, but then also you have a design sheet on the back of this too. So just to kind of keep showing you guys what it will look like when complete. So I do leave just a little bit of room I don't glue straight into there, and I just tuck in, this is not a full sheet of paper. This is just a scrap, and it probably goes in about like, you know, a 1/4 inch in. So you don't need to have a full piece of paper there. And I do use, did I bring them up with me? I don't know. Let me see, oh yeah. I use basic gray magnets, but if you mat like I do, you don't necessarily, I wouldn't put it on the white piece of paper. I would put it on my mat and then my design sheet so that you have a really nice tight hold. Because once you start getting the layers, it just gets less and less. Okay, so we are just going to stick that there, and we are done with that side. Now you can have pockets, you can add a waterfall. There's a lot you can do with this. I'm just showing you guys exactly how, you know, like I did the baby albums, so you can recreate this and do your own thing. Okay, so for the large pocket, that is 5.5 by 8.5. We're gonna fold on all the creases here and just burnish it. Get a nice crisp edge. Just so. I can already see I don't like that. That's probably that corner that I knew was off. There we go. So I am going to, so always do a dry fit. Make sure that your openings are on this side. That's probably important to know where your opening is, because this is what is going to go in the gusset, and this is where a large photo mat goes. So I just like to double check. And again, I do this because I have done it before where I've put it on the wrong side. So I just keep looking. We're going to put this down. And sometimes, depending upon your scoreboard, your pocket ends up like a little bit off. It's not a huge deal. No one notices once you get everything on there. So don't stress too hard about it. Okay, so I always do, for me, I do the large part first, or the bottom if it was a bottom pocket, because then, which I don't have up here, I need to prepare myself a little bit better, but I put just a piece of Scotch tape or packing tape right here, so that way when you slide things in the pocket, it doesn't get stuck, which mine does get stuck because I forgot to do it. It eventually goes. It just makes it a little bit easier if you put a little bit of tape and don't like press over the crease a lot, but just kind of place it down. It makes it a lot easier. And I got that actually from Tamra, oh my gosh, I don't know how many years ago, watching her videos. She did the Chibi and Milo or whatever recipe album. And that's where I learned it. Okay. So we have our nice little pocket there. Now we want our piece that is 6.5 by 10 3/4. And we have that scored at 6 1/4. Fold it. And then it will go in like this. And I did round the corners on this one. I try to, if I'm putting things in pockets, round the bottoms because they start getting, you know, dog-eared over time. But, you know, you don't have to. It's just something I try to do. I don't do it all the time because I forget. So you'll see, like my large photo mats that I put in pockets, I usually round them. They go in better and they just stay, you know, a little bit more in shape as time goes. So then our next piece, we are just going to score that ½ inch there, not ½ inch, but halfway mark, which is 3 1/4. So this is going to go on, and I actually have, this is not on the right side. I don't want to put a magnet right here. I want it on the other side. So again, I left myself a note to not, sorry, I'm shaking the camera, to not glue this down yet. So here's why, because, so this booklet, I just glue on, so I glue this side, so you guys can see, this is what it will look like. The magnet goes here, and then there's a magnet here on the pocket. But you could like leave this open if you wanted this as like a tuck spot. You can do that, but so do not glue this side of the booklet down yet until you have this design sheet right here. I hope you guys are getting this. I'm so sorry if not. But again, I just kind of eyeballed like where I wanted it, and it'll be like that. So, and I guess you don't want to glue this side either. So I'm just going to write, don't glue yet. Okay, so it'll go like that, and we are going to have magnet, and I'm just going to put an M for magnet on that side, and there we have our page 1. So let me just get this together. Like so. Now if I redo, not redo, but if I use this base for a project, I will try to do a process video. It's just a lot harder. Like it takes me forever to actually finish a book, so we'll see. Okay, so on to page 2. So you are going to grab these 3 pieces. And I'll just turn this so we have this ready. So, is this right? Nope, don't turn that. Goodness. Okay, so we're going to start with this piece here. That is the 7 by 7.5. Oh, let's miter these corners. And my dog is snoring. So sorry. She's snoring really loud too. She has to follow me everywhere I go, so of course she had to come in here. Otherwise she would keep hitting the door until I let her in. Okay. I know I have messes everywhere. I'm telling you, when you guys come to this channel and get a tutorial, it's not all, you know, pretty sounding and perfect and clean. Because, yep, it's just not. I want to be those people, but we just go with it over here. So crease that down. That is going to be our little flap here. So again, let's just lift a corner. And that is going to, and I'm just eyeballing it. You can measure if you want to, but it leaves basically, oops, I don't want it right there. It leaves, what do you call it? A 1/2 inch, not a 1/2 inch, like a 1/4 inch on both sides. So I'm just eyeballing. And I can't see like over. Ugh, it's gonna drive me crazy. Sorry, I gotta lift it up because I can't see over my camera. There we go. Okay, have that down. And then this goes on top of the flap. The 4 1/4 by 6 3/4. And then you just burnish down that little score line. And again, I just kind of eyeball the center, but you can measure it if you really want it perfect. Flap, and I need to tell myself, so we need a magnet here, and this is only if you like magnets. Not everybody likes magnets. So we have that. And then we lift this up and, ooh, that was a bad fold there. Give it a good crease. And then all I do when I glue this down is I just glue down 3 sides so I still have a pocket, a tuck spot. So let me just show you, and I have to remind myself, I put my magnet on here because when this comes down, it hits the actual pocket. So we're gonna do, not pocket, but little photo mat booklet. But let me show you real quick. So when we open this up, as you can see, I have a pocket, but I did not make a pocket. You can, if you want to, with the white cardstock. Totally up to you. You would have to make it 8 by, let's see, 4 1/4. No. 8 by 4 3/4, and then score, you know, 1/2 inch on 3 sides, and that'll give you a bigger pocket. I don't like the bigger pockets. I want a tight fitting pocket because when you're opening this up and down, these, if it has the bigger gusset, will fall out. So I just did my pocket with design paper, and my design paper, just so you know, is 4 inches high if you want to do it. And then of course, depending upon how you're matting. I did 6 3/4, so 4 by 6 3/4. Then I just added a little border strip here underneath it. And then for this part, sorry if I'm talking too much, but I just want to try to answer the questions that have come up already. So this is from the Graphic 45 tag die that normally you would put on top of one of their tags, so it would be, their tag would be bigger. But Graphic 45 does not make a white base. They make cream, craft, and black. So I cut this out with the die, 2 pieces. So I do my decorative paper, my design paper, and then I do 110-pound white cardstock. So this is really sturdy. And let's see, I use my 5/8 inch hole punch to cover the hole that is made here. So that's what this is. And then I just punched on the inside of that with my 1/2 inch. So, and just if you, I mean, no, you don't really have to, but yeah, I mean, that's the gist of it. So you can see, you could see on the back side, I didn't quite get that even, but no one could see it. They see the front. But that's what I use to cover that. So a 5/8 inch hole punch and then a 1/2 inch to do the inside. But you can use just your, you know, your regular hole punch to do the inside. It didn't have to be that big. But I do like to cover up that hole because it's so large. Because it's made to wrap around an eyelet. So it just goes in like that. But that's how I did the pocket. And again, just so you guys know the size of my tags. So this is a 3x4 cut apart. And I have this as 3 1/8 by 6. And I just randomly choose sizes. So just so you guys know what this actual size is. I used my corner chomper here on the corners. Just added just scraps from my table. So I always do my tags and my photo mats always last because that's what I'll use up with scraps. And then just basically, let's see, I think this is like a 1/2 inch, yep. And then this piece was 1 3/8, and just added that on there. But that is the size of this. So if they want a journal, they can, but they also can place a 3x4 photo directly on here. And this is just a basic photo mat. So you're gonna need lots of like these little, like these ones are 3 1/8 by 4 1/8 because I don't have any matting on here, but you can make them bigger too. So you could do 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I just make sure whatever's in this pocket does not, oh, you guys can't see. Whatever is in this pocket right here does not cover up my magnet. So it'll still work. Okay. Ooh, that was a lot of talking. Oh my gosh, you guys are probably dying by now. Okay, so let's do the back side of 2. And just this piece. What we need is this piece here. That is 7.5 by 8. We scored at a 1/2 inch and scored at 5. Now we're just going to fold those all up. Like so. Fold this one. Okay, and we're going to glue this one down. And again, this just gives a nice little dry fit first before it's totally stuck down. Make sure you guys can actually see what I'm doing. And I can see, so I just want to show, I have just a little smidgen there, so I'm just going to trim that off. Oh my goodness, it's a little bit more difficult from this angle. Oh my God, can you guys hear my dog? She is knocked out. Knocked out. Okay. So, there we go. Easy peasy. Now, the next piece is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And again, we are not going to, let's just write on there, do not stick down until we have our design paper. So we're just going to put it in place for a second and get one of our handy dandy little paper clips, which I think I'm running out of my paper clips up here. But we'll just put it on like that. So what this did is created this pocket. So you glue down 2 sides and you have a pocket. I also did not glue this all the way down, so I just want to show you. I'm sorry if I'm bouncing all over the place, but hopefully you guys are getting the gist of this. So see how I didn't glue this all the way down? I have still a little tuck spot, so it only goes to right there, but it's because I just glued like right here. So I glued all the way up, down probably like 1.5 inches, and then up. So I still have a nice little tuck spot if I wanted to. You don't have to. And I think in the wedding album, I have this piece on the inside, which is fine too. So you could look at that video and see. And then again, I have another piece here, another photo mat. This one is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 because I have what do you call it? A pink matting on here. So it is a little bit larger than the regular. So totally up to you. And then see here how I use the copper paper as my matting and then my white on top, because I didn't want to do the white just on top of here. But again, to each their own. Do you, boo. Do you. Okay, so that's where we're going to leave this at because you need to have design paper here, but we need to write magnet, magnet. So when you do, okay, I'm going to bring this back. I actually have my magnet is over here. So it's not under the photo. And when you place this photo, I make sure that you cannot see it beyond this photo here. So just a tip for you. And then in the original version, oh my gosh, I'm talking way too much. You guys are probably dying. I have another one of these, just like that, in there. So I like to have little tuck spots where you can pull things out. I just didn't do it on this one yet because I'm not loving where I have this yet, so I just have it tucked there for now. So we'll see. We'll see. And then we'll just tuck this back in there. And I didn't want to cover up my rainbows, so that's why I keep tucking it under the rainbow. Okay, so we have that will be done. That is page 2. My gosh, we're actually moving along. Okay. Where did I put page 1? Oh, this is page 1. Oh my gosh. Okay, so page 3. Let's get page 3 out. So page 3, we are going to, this is the back. We will put this one down first, so it's going to go on the side, but let's miter all these corners. I'm telling you, I know you guys have wanted this tutorial forever, over a year now, and I know why I didn't do it, because this sucker was a beast. A beast. Now it's finally done. Won't have anybody yelling at me, when you gonna do it? Okay, not that anybody was, I'm just kidding. You guys have been awesome. Okay, so we got those mitered, so let's start with our 7 by 7.5. And what did I just do with my, oh, there you are. Got a good crease. And this is going to go to the side. And we are going to double check. Yes, I have the opening on the right side. So this flap is exactly the size or the height of the page, but I can see that is off just a little bit. So let me just make sure. Yes, and that's fine. We will just come through and we will trim that up. I had my bigger scissors up here. It's gonna drive me crazy. Ugh, I don't like the way that looks. Let's see. It's literally slightly off on this paper. I don't know, because I did give this a nice little burnish. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try. I could get it off, it just would be a lot of work, and I don't want to do that on this tutorial. So again, it's just slightly, it's not going to mean anything. So I'm just going to come through and really try to make sure I do not cut on the folded edge. Normally I do not do this with my little scissors, I do with my larger ones. Okay, so we have that. Then this is going to be our pocket on the front flap. So a little okay, just a little corner was sticking out. Okay, so again, putting this on here, just want to make sure before I do that that this is totally straight and there's just again a hair. better. Down there. I don't know why I'm struggling with tape today. Normally, that is not an issue. Okay. So we have our nice little pocket. This piece here, the 3 1/4 by 9 1/4. Okay, and I did round the bottom edges on this. And you can do a magnet on here if you don't want to. I did not on this one, and that's only because I forgot. But if you want to, just write yourself a note to do a magnet closure. And then inside, so I do have this in here, which I think is 5 by 7. If you want to be able to put an exact 5 by 7 photo on there, you would obviously make it a little bit bigger, and you can. I don't know. I chose to really be even, I guess. I don't know why. Okay, so that is in there. And on the inside here, I didn't do anything, but I do want to make sure I tell you guys how I do this part. All I do is just take, this is all the same sheet. So I measured this side first, cut it, and then whatever is left over, and I always make sure I have this piece to the left over when I cut. I just lay that down, what I want, which is about 1 inch, I think. Yeah, so I made sure that this was 1 inch. Then I laid this side down, and then I measure it in between here. And that's the scrap I'll use. So this piece is 1 3/8, just so you guys know, by 7 1/4. And let's just see. This is 7 1/4 this way. So just so you guys know exactly what I did there. And this one is 4 3/4 by 7 1/4. So I try to keep it going as a total thing. So same thing here. This is one sheet of paper right here. So let's just double check. You have 7 1/4. What do we say? By 4 3/4. So yep, that is a 12 by 12. So I cut a whole 12 by 12 at the 7 1/4 mark and did this side first and then the other piece onto here. And you don't have to do that. I just like to, if I can keep the, what do you call it? If I can keep the print going, I try to do it. But I think on, which one was it? I think it was this one. Oops. I think, did I put this one? Yeah, I think this one I had put either, I don't know. I cut this one wrong, whatever it was. I think I had this was on this side. If you can see, it is off a little bit, because I did the wrong side. But just so you guys know how to cut it, how I intended to cut it, I should say. And same thing when we get to this page. So this is just a continuation. This is 5 1/2 by 7 1/4. This piece is 1 1/2. So the total is 7. And then just a 1/2 inch in between here. And this is actually, let me see, I think whatever, this is the B side of this paper. So either I use this here, which was the back side of this one, or I put it on this side. So I didn't waste any of that strip that I pulled out. Okay, so we have the front of page 3 done. So now let's do the back. which we are done with the construction of the pages. And then the other video will be doing the cover with the hinges. Okay. So we're just going to place this here. I cannot see. Not working for me. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's just write magnet. So again, this is another one where I did not create a pocket with the white cardstock. I created a pocket with design paper. So if you want to do this exact pocket on top of matting, it is 2.5 by 7.25, and I just did a little border strip in there. So totally up to you. And then on the back side, I did a pink photo mat. Again, this is 4.25 by 6.25. You could do an accordion, you could do a fold out, you could do a waterfall. Doesn't have to be just this. But just a reminder, my book is full. It will be fine. It's not going to bow when I get like the photos in there. But if you want a bigger spine, do 2 inches. I just like 1 inch, or 1.5, that's me. But I could see people wanting to add a lot more into their book. So go ahead and do 2 inches, especially if you want to do like flowers and more embellishments and stuff, just to give you that extra room. So there you guys go. This is where, oh, I'm going to show this real quick, just in case somebody doesn't want to watch the video where I do the cover. I'm not sure, you know, exactly who needs what, you know, just saying. So for this piece, this was the 1.5 by 4, and we scored at a 1/2 inch, and you will miter these corners. So let's just do that real quick. This goes up here before you lay down any paper, and then I just put it on like that. I leave about, I think it was about 3 inches, no, about 2. It was 2.25, I think. Let's just measure. 2.25 is what I have showing. So you could do a little tick mark on here, glue this on like so, put this down, but again, we need to say magnet, and I will show this in the cover video, but just in case someone, you know how you do the cover, you don't want to watch it, that's how I put this down. And then for the pocket, again, it's just design paper. I did 4.25, and this literally is, whatever scrap I have is what I'm using. So that's how I determine like the height of my pocket. It's not the same all the time. So it's 4.25 by 7.75 if you want to do that. And then in here we have a photo mat. I think this is 4.25 by 6.25. And I rounded all the corners, 4.5 by 6.5. This was part of the cut apart page, so I just did it off of that size, which is 3 1/8 by almost 5.25. And then this is just a 3 by 4 cut apart that is on a 3.25 by 4.25 white cardstock. So there you guys go. I hope that you like this tutorial. Please let me know if you have questions. I will try to get to it as soon as I can. But yeah, that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and happy crafting. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure that you do, so that way you could see future tutorials and future project shares. Thanks for watching. Bye.